Morena staff, and welcome to our live staff briefing. Just want to point out that we do have a little of internet issues, which is always fun and games, but we are live streaming this obviously, and we're recording it, so we will put that up if it cuts out at any stage, but we will keep rolling here and then you can rewatch that. We have three speakers after me today. We've got Jared, Brenton, then Julie. A couple of things I wanted to point out is that you can ask the questions down the side there, and there is a bit of a 45-second delay on that, but we will try and pick that up at the end. So if any questions, please feel free to type that in. Today is Thoughtful Thursday, so you'll see that incredible wellbeing prefects have put little boxes around the school, and feel free to drop some messages in there to a friend, and then the wellbeing prefects will deliver that. So staff, definitely get on board with that. Put a message into the wellbeing box, and then that'll be delivered. We've also got Kia Ōrahi going at lunchtime, so feel free to go down and support the students with Kia Ōrahi. Swimming sports tomorrow is happening, and Ali has done a fantastic job down at the pool sorting that out, and credit to the sports team there. Just to note, though, synchronised swimming is postponed. That was going to be for our year 13s and then live streamed into your classes, but that is postponed, and we'll get back to you with a date for that. So that is all from me, and I would like to pass you on to Jared.
Thanks, Jess. Morena koutou. Just to give you an update about where we are with COVID within the school. So we have had, over the past kind of 2.5 weeks, we've had 67 students test positive for COVID, and of those, 10 have returned back to school after their 10-day isolation period already. We've also had 3 staff. One is already back at school, and we've contact traced those staff, and those other staff who have been in interaction with those have been contacted. So if you haven't been contacted, you have not been working closely with one of those positive staff members. What we're seeing now is still no big transmission between people within classes or transmission between students and teachers within classes. A lot of the current cases, which we're probably getting around 10 or so a day, close to half of those are household contacts of siblings or parents. So it's not that there's a mass spread within St Peter's, because that's absolutely not the case. Most of them are actually coming from either sporting events outside of the school, a little bit within boarding, but mainly it is from household contacts where we may have one student who's tested positive, the parents have to come and pick up the other siblings to take home, they then become household contacts, they then test positive within the first couple of days. Attendance within the school is still pretty strong at well over 80%. Which is good. So certain year levels are getting hit a little bit more than others. So teachers, you'll notice in your year 12 and 13 classes, some of those classes have been hit a little bit harder than others. Mask wearing is definitely working, so I need to encourage everybody to ensure that they enforce that within their classrooms and when they see people around campus. The form that I sent out earlier to register if you have a positive case in your that you've had a positive case, or students, is really important to fill in, and that seems to be working very well. Other than that, that's all I think I have today on COVID, so I'll keep you updated with next time. Mr. Joubert.
Morena whanau. I wonder how the pandemic is treating you. We've been yarring about supply chain issues. I'm sure you've seen some shelves empty at your supermarkets. And yesterday we learnt the hard way ourselves. We ran out of toilet paper. We're not the stockpiling type. So we had to resort to using lettuce leaves. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Today remains to be seen. So these are, we often say, unprecedented times. You've heard that. It's an overused word. And you probably heard us thank you. And I don't know how to say it sincerely enough so that you really take it on board and know how really thankful we are to each and every one of you. We know the disruption to your personal, to your family lives and situation. And we know we ask a lot by asking you to front up at work every day. And we're so happy that you do more than just front up. You front up with such an amazing attitude, so much willingness to help and adapt and support one another. And that is truly moving for each and every one of us. It's been heartwarming for teaching and learning staff to hear that operational staff are putting a roster together to be able to support with supervision in classes if that's required. I wonder about those boarding staff. I wonder when they signed up for the job, whether they could ever have anticipated what they've got. I know Amy said that to me. That wasn't in the job description. They've got to consider how to keep themselves and their families safe while dealing with symptomatic students, some of whom are testing positive, and then finding a way to keep them safe until they can go home. And our thanks go out specifically to those boarding staff who are coping with a lot. We thank you. But it's important to hear the thanks for each and every one of you. We suspect the next month could become even more challenging at times, and we suspect that we're going to have to be even more nimble and agile as we work out what our daily priorities are and how we can support one another. So we look forward to the next month. I know we're all up to that challenge. Now, just some staff news as well. Our Associate Chaplain, Vanessa McCarthy, is currently on leave and will be away next week as well. She's fine. You don't need to worry about her, although I do encourage you to keep her and others that are away in your prayers. If there are any chaplaincy matters or service-related matters, get hold of Matt Martin or the Wellbeing Administrator, Jilly King, will be really keen to help you as well. More staffing news and really sad news. Two outstanding teachers, Jack Harmon and Emma Gillard, have put their resignations in. We've done our best to persuade them not to move on, but they're off to greener pastures, the sound of music. They're off to Switzerland and much closer to their family. And we'll hear more from them at a later stage. They'll only be leaving at the end of term 2. And I'm sure they'll enjoy having discussions with you about their future plans as well. Just a reminder that next Monday is our first Leave Monday of the term, and that benefits our students and our teaching and learning staff. Our operations staff often make use of that time to get stuck into various projects around the school. One of the projects they're managing and continuing with is the modernisation of the student reception area. If that's an area you're familiar with, you'll see that the portraits are going to be removed. There'll be new furniture installed. There'll be a television screen. There'll be a big aerial map that goes into that area to be engaging, especially to those families that come into the reception or contractors and people waiting for appointments. The portraits will safely be put in the archives, and we'll be considering how best to place them in future. So that's all the news from me. I'm now delighted to hand over to our campus principal, Julie Small. Teaching and learning staff have been able to welcome her back, but just our sincere welcome back to Julie for the operational staff as well. Thank you, Julie.
Kia ora tātou. It is good to be back on campus, and thank you, Brenton, and also an opportunity for me to sincerely thank you in front of everybody for your leadership and your commitment to St Peter's. I can see that I'm going to have to learn how to tell some jokes because I'm not very good at that, but you're a bit of a hard act to follow there. So, and I'd also just like to thank the rest of our teaching and learning senior leadership team as they have worked really hard in my absence and done a sterling job. So thank you. As I've moved around the campus this week, I have had conversations with a number of you, also enjoyed having interactions with our students, of course, and I've heard about how the year has started for you, and I've heard some really encouraging stories, some positive stories, and I've also been really pleased to hear the honesty with which you've shared with me that it is a very uncertain time for you. I've heard the desire from you to want to do your absolute best in the role that you have, and I just want to remind you to look after yourself because you are in challenging moments in every moment of the day at times, and I do want to make sure that you're looking after yourself. If I'm not serving your need or you think we could serve your needs better, please do sing out. Let me know, because I want to know, and we certainly want to serve you in the best way that we can. My second message is around something that I spoke to the staff about way back in the beginning of our time together this year, and it's about a learning opportunity for our staff, both our operational staff and our teaching and learning staff. We're wanting to provide an internal opportunity for you to grow your capabilities, and many of us are in the realm of wanting to always look for new things to learn and to do. And so on a Wednesday morning, starting at 7:15 until 8 o'clock, I'm offering, and I will be supported by others of you who are out there with capabilities to share, but an opportunity for all staff to grow their capabilities. It doesn't have to be that you are in a leadership role or that you're looking to go into a leadership role. This opportunity is for everybody, and it also is for those who perhaps have just recently taken up an acting leadership role, or maybe for heads of departments or new deans. Maybe it's because you're new to the school and you want to actually engage in learning, and so that may be of interest to you. But if you would drop me an email, please, if you haven't already. We're looking to start that group next Wednesday morning, and it'll go on to the weekly planner, so watch out for that. Finally, I have some sad news to deliver, and yesterday I was given a letter of resignation from a very key member of our Teaching and Learning Senior Leadership team. Jed Rowlands has resigned. It's not happening immediately. It's going to be effective at the end of term 2, but I was really sad to receive that, because Jed has been a key and significant member of our senior leadership team, and he contributes to the school widely, but particularly as Director of Boarding, and I know his boarding staff and boarding students in particular will be sad about that news. But Jed's going to be moving on to a new venture, and I'm sure he'll tell us about that in due course. We'll get some communications out around that, but I did want to personally share that with you today. Any questions there? No questions in the chat. So thank you very much for your attendance today to the live broadcast. That ends that time now, and go ahead and have the rest of a good day, and a good day tomorrow heading into the weekend with the extra day. Thank you, everybody.